So I'm going to lesson plan here, and I have write and review, Bouncify, and let's go to solution 2. So we need to try to find another solution for Bouncify. Of course, to know Bouncify first, we need to study the behavior of this program as we did yesterday. So my program, as you can see, if I run my program, it will give me a message here, will input, it will give me a prompt here, enter some text, the letter will be bouncified. If I click on cancel, there is no escape. So alerting me there is no escape, and it's asked me again. If I click on OK, same idea, no empty input, please try again. But whenever I enter something, hello, for example, voila. And as you can see, the first character here, or the first letter, uppercase, lowercase, uppercase, lowercase, uppercase. And it will ignore all the special characters. So only the alphabetic character are being taken into account. So how can I do this program? Yeah, what should I do first? We already done it yesterday, so it should be easy now. What should I do?
Declare the input.
Declare the input, declare a variable. So I can just say let user input, let user input, it will be equal to an empty string. And after that, what should I do?
While loop.
So I need to somehow to use a loop to get the user input. But then again, do I know how many times do I need to loop here? So do I need to know how many times to ask the user in the prompt? Because if the user click on cancel, I need to ask him again. If I click on OK, the user also I need to ask him again. And so on. I don't know how many times the user will click on cancel or on OK. So the question is, do I know how many times to loop or not?
No.
No.
So what will be a good solution here? Which loop it will be better for us?
While.
So I can just say while. And here I will just say while true. What type of loop is that?
Infinite loop.
Yes. So because this one is true, that means this one, it will be an infinite loop. That means I need to be careful here. Either I need to use break at any point to break my loop. Otherwise, my loop, it will be infinite loop. So what should I do now? I should ask the user for input. How can I ask the user for input?
Prompt.
Of course, so I just say user input, it's equal to prompt, and I can write my message here. But of course, it will be a good idea to run my program and copy the same message exactly, because I'm trying to reverse engineering this program. And reverse engineering means simply, it must be the same behavior exactly in everything. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to just replace this text here with the same text exactly. Voila. But the problem here is, so now I'm asking for the user input. I will have different solution here or different option here. Now, maybe the user enters some text, so I will have either, if I hover over the input, what it will return? What is the return value for prompt? String or?
Null.
No. So either it will be string or either it will be null. Now, if I go to my program again, I click on run and I click on, for example, a null, which will be cancelled, it gives me there is no escape. So I need to check this condition. I need to just put another condition here and check if user input is equal to null, and then I need to alert the user with this message. So I can just say alert, and instead of goodbye, of course, I need to add this message here. So it must be the same message exactly. That should be okay. We handle the case in case the user click on cancel or null, but the problem is still we have another case here. So what if the user click on OK? I will have a string, but it will be an empty string. And in case of empty string, also I need to alert the user. So what I need to do here really, I need to go here and put another condition here. So I can just say if user input, it's equal to an empty string, then I'm gonna alert the same message which is in my program. Voila. No empty string here, no empty input. Please try again. Okay, what if the user input is not null and it's not an empty string? What should I do? Yes.
Alert.
break.
I've already alert 2 times here. In case the user click on cancel, in case the user click on OK without entering any text. What if the user enters something else? What should I do?
Bouncify the text.
Exit on this
I need
file.
I need to exit my loop. I cannot bouncify here. Here I'm
Break.
just asking, so here I'm just asking the user for input. So how can I deal with this situation? What should be my condition be? So I need to break, but when I need to break, if I have any value. So I can just say if user input is not null and is not empty string, then I want to break. Is there any way or another way to do it? So I can just say if user input is not equal to null and user input is not equal to empty string, then I'm gonna break. But this condition is ugly. Do I have another way?
Explanation mark user input.
Okay, if the user input is null, what will be? It will be true or false? If user input is null, it will be true or false?
False.
If user input is empty string, it will be true or false?
False.
False.
And now simply here, I can just remove all the condition and I can put just user input here. And user input mean here, it means if it's null, it will be false. So this one, it will be false. It will not break my loop. And if it's empty string, also this one, it will be false. So it will not break my loop here. It will only break my loop if it's not null and not empty string. So if it has a value. So I can replace all these conditions just by one thing here. It's just user input. And at the end here, what I can do here, I can just log the result because I need to try to test my input here. So let's log user input. Let's try to test our program so far to see. In order to test my program, I need to go to solution 2. And what I can do here, I can click run. And now let's try to cancel. If I cancel, there is no escape. Everything is okay. Ask me again, of course. If I click on OK, it will give me no empty input. Please try again. And as you can see, the behavior is working. Let's try to enter anything and I click OK. And as you can see, my loop is over. And if I go to the console in my DevTools, as you can see, I have the value I just typed. And that's exactly the same behavior, as you can see. Bit different from yesterday's code, but it's doing the same job, same behavior. Yes?
Yes.
Good. Now, after I having my text here, or after having user input, now I need to bouncify my text here. So to bouncify my text, I need to declare a variable and I can just name it bouncified text or just bouncified like that. And I will initialize it to an empty string here. Why empty string? Well, you cannot initialize it to empty string, but that's my way of saying that I'm gonna store a string in this variable. Now what I need to do, I need somehow to loop through my input, user input. And user input, of course, so it's a string, so I need to loop through it. How can I loop through a string? What option do I have? If I want to loop through for off, that's one option. What is the second option?
Actually, for off we have already used. I think we have to use another loop. For loop is the best
For
option.
loop. Can we use for loop?
You can use while loop.
We cannot use while loop. I told you because it's a string here. Okay, yeah, we can use while loop, but we shouldn't use while loop. Because my string here, I know how many characters in my string, so I know how many times I need to loop. So if I know how many times I need to loop, it's not a good idea to go with while. Any other suggestion? Can I use for loop?
Yes.
Of
For
course
off.
I can.
Yes.
For off.
Not for off. I just want for. Can I use for?
Yeah, we can use for length. Yeah.
Okay. Can I use for loop with a string here?
Yeah, you can use for, yeah.
I think
Okay.
yes, we can use.
I don't
We
think.
can-
Of course I can use because for loop, I know how many times I'm going to loop. It's not thinking. You know that it is working, yes. So I can let I is equal to 0 as long as I is less than my string. What is my string here? It's user input.
User dot length.
So user input dot length. And now here, what I can do, I can just say I plus plus and voila, that's it. So what I'm going to do here, I'm gonna just log the character to make sure my loop is working. So I can just log I for now, or actually let me not log I, let me log the character. How can I access as a character in my string? How can I access the character in my string?
With the index?
Yes, with the index. Yes, with the index. Voila. Now here, let's try to go to our example and try to just to see if I put any input here, if it log all the character or not. So let's type hello, click, and as you can see, I have HYF-BE. So it is working here. Of course, you can use for loop. For loop, I told you whenever you know how many times you going to loop, it's a good idea to use for loop. So for loop is even faster comparing to for of loop. So now, okay, I'm looping through all my string here. I know how many characters inside my string. So if I have this one in string, it will give me whatever the user input, it will give me the length, and I know how many times I'm going to loop. Okay, I have the character. Now what I need to do, so I need to first, after I know that my character is this one, what should I do? Let me actually say const char, it's equal to, so let me save the character in a variable here, just to make it a little bit easy. And here, bracket I. Voila. Okay, what should I do now? So I have the character, so it will loop through all my character here. I have my character. What should do? What should I do?
Yes, you have to check that if it is the lowercase or uppercase. So first you have to check the lowercase, and then
We
Do I
can
have-
use match function.
Or
If
then
character
uppercase.
dot match,
Again, one by one, so I can understand you, please. Okay, what should I do now? I have my character. I'm looping through all the character. What should I do? What's the next step?
we can use for example, we can say the character dot match function.
How can character match a function?
If char dot match function, then we can say
Char dot match
match.
like that.
Yeah, the smash function. Yeah.
Well, I don't want to do that. Before I'm doing that, I need to check something here. I told you we only bouncify the alphabetic characters. That means from A to Z, lowercase and uppercase. So first I need to check if the character is alphabetic or not. Yes or no?
yes.
That's my character. First I need to check if it's alphabetic or not. So to check if it's alphabetic or not, I can use regular expression simply. So what I can do here, I can just say if, and here I can use my pattern. So I can just type some pattern here if I want to, or I can directly actually put my regular expression. Regular expression, it's not related just to JavaScript. In all programming language, we have regular expression. They are checking our string. We only use them with string to check if a string match certain certain pattern, for example. Normally, the regular expressions, they start with // and I can do that. And after that, here, I can put my regular expression. So what I'm going to do here, I will say bracket A to Z, like that. And after that, well, let me actually close this one like that. And here, what I can do, I think I can add I like that. And I can say dot test. It should work like that. And after that, I can test any character. Notice something. The regular expression here, it's an object. In JavaScript, it is an object. So this guy here is an object. All of it, it's an object. And in this object, we have different methods. One of them is test. And test here, if I hover over test, it returns me a Boolean. What do I mean by that? Well, it will take the character. It will check if the character is from A to Z or from A uppercase to Z uppercase, because I is mean case insensitive. That means it doesn't care if it's uppercase or lowercase. The most important thing here is that this character must be between A to Z. Is the idea clear? to make it a little bit more
Yeah.
readable, I'm gonna just put my regular expression in a variable, so I can just say pattern like that. Instead of doing that here, I'm just gonna remove this one and put this guy here. Again, remember something very important. Pattern here in JavaScript, it's an object. So this one here, it's allowed in JavaScript. It's regular expressions give me an object. If I say object pattern dot, it will give me many function. One of them is test, and as I told you, test, it will try to test this character. It will try to check if the character is between A to Z, and that's what I want to. So what I want to check if the character is alphabetic, that means is from A to Z. And I here, it has a meaning. It means I don't care if the character are uppercase or lowercase. Is the idea clear? Yes or no?
Yeah.
The rest?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Okay.
You can go to this one here, this website I've already shared with you, regular expression. And now we can put our regular expression here. So I can just put here A to Z. And in this example here, we don't have the I cannot put I here, but I can put the flag here. So I can just select it here. If I put I, voila, it's the same idea. Now here, if I try to test any character, for example, A, notice it's been highlighted. That means, yes, it matched this pattern. So it is correct, the return true. If I try A with capital case, also it's matched, as you can see. But if I try exclamation mark, no, it doesn't work. If I try 1, it will not work. If I try 2, it will not work. If I try anything except from A to Z, uppercase and lowercase, it will not work. Is the idea clear? Yes?
Yes.
Good. So now what this regular expression is going to do, it will test my character. It will check. If my character is alphabetic like that, it will return true. If it's not alphabetic, it will return false. So what I'm going to do now here, if it's true, I'm going to do something. And if it's false, else, I'm going to do something else. So if the character is here, if it's false, that means it's not alphabetic character. If it's not alphabetic character, what should I do? If it's not alphabetic character, what should I do?
It.
I will just add it without any modification. So I will just say bouncify plus equal char. So I will just add my character only. I'm not gonna do anything else. I'm just gonna add it. Well, I'm not gonna change anything. Well, now what if it's alphabetic here in the if block? Well, if it's alphabetic, I need to make the first time uppercase, the second time lowercase, and so on and so on and so on. And in order to do so, it's a good idea to use a Boolean flag. What do I mean by Boolean flag? Well, I can simply declare a variable here, and I can just say, for example, let is uppercase or is upper. I will declare is upper, and I will make it by default true because I want the first character to be true. So now what I'm going to do here, depending on the value of this Boolean, I will make it uppercase or lowercase. So if I say if is upper, and then here, I will add my character. So you can just say bouncify plus equal char dot to uppercase. So I will convert it to uppercase like that. Okay. But what if this one is false? Well, if this one is false, now I will do the same way, but I need to convert it to lowercase. Instead of uppercase, I need to make it to lowercase. Voila. And that's it simply. Is the idea clear?
Yes.
Now all I need to do, I just need to alert bouncify. And my program should be okay. But I still have small problem here. What is my problem here? Where is the bug?
It's always true.
Yes. So if I go to my program here, okay. Just get rid of this one. Let's go to my program, refresh this one. And now here, if I type something, because I've tested already cancel and okay, let's just try type hello. It's give me all uppercase, and that's not what I want to actually. What I want to make it uppercase, first time uppercase, second time lowercase. And in order to do that, all I have to do here, I need to flip my Boolean. Flip my Boolean means now it's true, I need to make it false. And in order to do so, I can just say is upper, that's my variable, it's equal to not, I'm using not operator, is upper. That means if is upper is true, I will make it false and I will reassign it here to this variable. Its syntax is not like that. Okay, that doesn't make sense. Here, what I'm doing first, I'm flipping my Boolean. By flipping mean if it was true, I will make it false. If it's false, I'll make it true. Then I'm gonna reassign it to this variable is upper. Yes.
Yes.
Good. Now let's try to test it. If I click run, it will be hello, and it's working as expected. Let's take some example here. For example, goodbye. Let's try to run my program. Do that, and it's working as expected, as you can see. And now, as you can see, I have another way. So I've wrote my code in the solution 1 that was in one way, and my solution 2 is a little bit different from my solution 1. So both programs, they have the same behavior. Why? Because both of them, they are doing the same program. I mean, they are doing the same jobs. They're just modifying the text. They're exactly doing the same. They have the same behavior, but they have different implementation. What do I mean by different implementation? Well, here I did use while loop, but here I put a condition here. And here I use while loop same, but here I put true. I make it like infinite loop. Okay. Solution 1, what did I do here? Well, I used for off loop. In solution 2, I used Sajid, could you please mute yourself? For solution 2 here, I'm using for loop, as you can see. So there is different implementation here. I'm using different code. Here I use one loop, here I use another. So the implementation is different, but the behavior is the same always. Yes or no?
Yes.
Good. Now your job here, for those who did Bonsify yet, what you can do, you can so I've already share with you one solution. I did one solution, two solution. You can add solution 1 and solution 2. You can come at least with 2 solutions. If you have more, you can add it here 3 or 4. 2 solutions will be enough, but if you have more, that's okay. That's what's related to write and review a program. Question? Question?
I have question, Sam.
Yes.
Can you go back to the code again, please? What we just did right now?
Yes.
Can you try to make make a mistake, for example, right now, not to work the right way? For example, when you click OK, it give you the alert. Then and try to make a mistake in the other one that you not get the alert. Now, my confusion is that how can I what do you call it again, to debug this kind of solution? How can I use it, because I'm still confused with the debugging stuff, because I don't even know. I just have to figure it out anyway, just because I want to now to actually use it to actually discover my problem to solve it. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Honestly, I did not understand anything.
Okay, I'm having issue to use a debugger to discover an issue if I have like something that is not working right and I'm not seeing no error message. But how can I use, I want to know more how to use the debugger to identify any issue or anything that is not working right way, even if there's no error.
First, to use a debugger, you need to understand your program. How is your program working? Let's try to mess up with this one. Let's try to mess up with this one. Like that. Let's say user input, and user input is equal to high, for example. So as you can see, both of those are bugs. So let's say user input, and user input is equal to, that's not gonna work. So I need to add some text here. Let's say 1. Let's say there's a few bugs here. I want to debug my code. In order to debug my code here, first I need to go to my, what is it, my study instances. Yes, look like my study instances has. Let's go to my program, lesson plans, write and review, and it was solution 2. And let's try to debug my code. So I'm gonna open my DevTools, and let's hit debug. Let's debug. So let's go line by line and try to understand what's going on here. So let's go to this line. Well, the user input, as you can see, I'm just declaring a variable, and that's my user input. As you can see, it has no value at all. So now if I execute this line, I am expecting now the user value to have the empty string value, and I can check my scope here. So click. Now, as you can see, my user input has an empty string. Okay, that's fine. Now I am inside my loop. What should I do? Well, now I'm going to prompt the user. I'm going to ask user for input. I'm expecting after these lines that there will be a prompt. So let's try to execute our line, and that's what's happening. Let's try to enter something. For example, I will want to click on cancel. Let's click cancel. And now here I need to hover over the user input, as it must be null. As you see, why it's null? Because the user click on cancel. Now here, my condition, what is my program doing? Well, I want when the user click on cancel, I need to alert a message. I need to show them as the user a message, which is there is no escape. That's the message I want to show the user. So let's try to check my condition here. In order to check my condition, I will just hover over the user input. I'm saying here the user input is strictly equal to 1 as a string, but that's not correct. That's not correct, it's false. And all user input also, we don't have user input. As you can see, it's null. So this condition here, actually, it will be evaluated totally to false. So it will not work here. But what I want when the user click on cancel, I have null, I want to alert this message. So this value here, it's actually must be true. So how can I modify my code here? Well, to modify my code, all I have to do, I need to get rid of this one because it's not correct. I'm saying user input to be truthy, and if it's null, it will be falsy. So it will not work this way. So how can I do it? Well, I need to go inside my code, and I need somehow to replace this user input and try to check if the user input is null, then I need to alert this message. Is it okay, Harlow, or not?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Okay. So now I will go to my program, and I need to actually, this condition is false. I want this alert only when the user input is null. That means I need to check if the user input is null. How can I check? Well, I can use strict equality to check if it's null. And now here, because this condition, whenever the user input is null, then it will alert this message, and that's what I want to. So I want when the user click on cancel to alert this message, and that's the way here to alert the message. But remember, I want to alert this message only if the user input is null. That's the reason why I'm making this comparison. I'm checking if the user input is null, then alert this message only. Yes?
Yeah.
Let's go to the second one here. I know empty input. I want to alert this message when the user input is an empty string. Well, the user input is not an empty string, so it will not work. So let me try to go quickly. Now I will ask again, of course. Why? Because the user input here must not be null, and it was null, and null is false value, so it will not break it. Let's now click on OK. If I click on OK, of course, my first condition here, it will be false. Why? Because the user input is an empty string. I'm saying the user input, and that means the user input need to be truthy, but cannot be truthy because it's an empty string. If I go here, user input also need to be truthy, but empty string is falsy. So my job here, I need to alert this message if the user input is an empty string. That means I need to make sure that the user input is an empty string, but that's not what I'm doing here. What I'm doing here, I'm saying if the user input is truthy, that means it must be something. It cannot be null, it cannot be empty string. And then I'm checking if the user input is high, and that's not what I want to. If the user input is high, I should not alert this message. I should only alert this message when the user input is empty string. So I need to go to my code now, and I need to get rid of all of that, and I need to only alert this message if the user input is an empty string. Voila. Now, if the user input is not null and it's not empty string, I want to break. Well, I have multiple ways to write my condition. I can simply say, if user input is not equal to empty string, and also the user input must not equal to null. So it must not equal both of them. If it's equal to null, it will alert this message, it will ask the user again. If it's empty string, it will alert this message, ask again. And now what I want to do really, I want now if the user input is not null, is not empty string, that means the user enters something. And I can write just this condition and it will break my loop. Or if I understand truthiness or falsiness, I can just remove all of that and just keep this one. Why? Because I'm checking if the user input is truthy. User input, it will be truthy only in one. It cannot be truthy if the user input is null, because null is falsy value, and also empty string is falsy value. That means it will be truthy only if the user enters something. And I'm checking if the user enters something, then break my loop, and voila. Yes, Harley?
Thank you. Yeah, I need to practice this. Thank you.
Question here. Question. Okay, that's Bouncify here. Now I've checked some of your solution here. For example, let's go to understand program. And I think I've seen some solution. Yeah, for example, fixing error and stuff like that, fixing bugs. Let's just open some exercises, something like that. So the reason why we're putting, I told you use strict must be in which line? Use strict should be at which line in your script?
On the top, the beginning.
So what you need to do when you are doing the exercise, you need to delete this one. You need to remove this one. We are doing to do that mean you need to do the exercise. You need to delete it, format your code. Use string must be all the time as the first line in your program. And then you will come here and try to fix the problem if it's an error or if it's a bug. Do not keep this one to do here. You need to delete it. You need to remove it because use strict here need to be at the top of your program. Is the idea clear?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, just try to, let me stop recording first.